Oh yeah, these songs just get weirder and weirder. Foster the People had their first hit with Pumped Up Kicks back in 2010. Despite the music being upbeat, the song is actually way darker than it seems. Believe it or not, the song is actually written from the perspective of a troubled teen that is thinking about carrying out a school shooting. And chances are you've sung along to the lines, better run, faster than my bullet, but not thought much of it. The song itself is about status symbols, like pumped up kicks, the isolation kids feel, and a warning to enemies that they better outrun my gun. And if that wasn't enough, Foster's bassist, Cubby Fink, actually had a cousin who survived the Columbine shooting in April of 1999. The band's frontman, Mark Foster, wrote the song in 5 hours while working on a commercial jingle and had been watching CNN and hearing about a growing trend in mental illness in teens. Foster himself had been bullied as a kid and wanted to try and understand that mindset and youth gun violence in America, and hence the song was born. I Don't Like Mondays was released in 1979 and was a huge hit for the Irish band the BOOMTOWN Rats. The band's lead singer, legendary rock star and activist Bob Geldof wrote the song. Lyrics like "Tell me why I don't like Mondays" and "I want to shoot the whole day down" may sound like normal early morning complaints, I know I've had a few, but Geldof was actually inspired by a mass shooting. On the morning of January 29th, 1979, 16-year-old Brenda Ann Spencer opened fire on Grover Cleveland Elementary School in San Diego, California. Spencer lived across the street from the school and fired 30 rounds of ammunition at the children who were waiting at the school gates. The school's principal, Burton Wegg, and the custodian, Mike Suture, were killed, and 8 children and a police officer were injured. And when she was asked why she committed the crime, she simply said, "I don't like Mondays. This livens up the day." If you thought that was creepy, keep watching, it gets weirder. Slayer was formed in Huntington Park, California in 1981 and is one of the most iconic metal bands in history. And they're no strangers to satanic imagery. When it comes to the devil, these guys do not hold back, and their second album, Hell Awaits, was no exception. Released in 1985, the year of my birth, it included the tracks Kill Again, At Dawn They Sleep, Praise of Death, and Necrophiliac. But what really sets Slayer and this album apart was the use of backmasking to hide a creepy message for listeners. At the beginning of the album, when played in reverse, the ominous and inviting phrase, "Join us," is repeated in a demonic voice. If critics were on the fence about Slayer, this sealed the deal that these guys had made a deal with the devil. They've even had the honor of being called the most threatening, subversive band on the planet by the music critic and founder of the heavy metal magazine Kerrang!, Jeff Barton. During the 1970s, backmasking subliminal messages into music became a pretty big deal. Music fans who looked for these hidden messages became known as hunters. The Pink Floyd song Empty Spaces was released in 1979 as one of the tracks on their conceptual rock opera album The Wall. And hidden just before the lyrical portion, the band's co-founder Roger Waters says, "Hello, congratulations, you have just discovered the secret message. Please send your answer to Old Pink, care of the Funny Farm, Chalfront."
Congratulations, you have just discovered the secret message. Please send your answer to Old Pink, care of the Funny Farm, Chalfront.
Now this might just sound like a silly message, except Old Pink refers to the band's character named Pink Floyd, who eventually goes insane, and also refers to the former member Syd Barrett, who suffered from severe mental illness, likely schizophrenia, before being sent to a funny farm, a less than politically correct term for a psychiatric hospital, and eventually had to leave the band. James Blunt's 2004 song You're Beautiful may seem like one of the best love songs in recent years, but it turns out not so much. It became a huge hit because really, what's better than seeing the face of an angel and repeatedly telling her she's beautiful while also being bittersweet that you'll never be together? Well, listen closely and you'll realize he's actually stoned out of his mind and creeping on some poor woman. The song is basically about him spotting a girl on a train and thinking that she's hot. And even though she's with someone else, he just keeps staring at her. Like every creep on the bus, you avoid it at all costs. This would have been more obvious if the radio version didn't change the line, "I was effing high" to "I was flying high." I'm guessing that the smile she flashes for him is more out of fear and pity than a real special moment. Lead singer of Nirvana, Kurt Cobain's suicide in 1994 was a tragic end to a brilliant musician and made him one of the most notorious members of the doomed 27 Club. The band's second album, Nevermind, featured some of their best-known songs like Smells Like Teen Spirit, but it also had a quieter track called Polly. The lyrics are vague, and it seems like they may have had a deeper meaning than what, on the surface, sounds like a guy feeding crackers to his pet bird named Polly. The truth is, Cobain was inspired to write the song when he read a newspaper article about the kidnapping, rape, and torture of a 14-year-old girl in June of 1987 by Gerald Arthur Friend. Friend was a serial rapist from Lakewood, Washington, who abducted the girl when she accepted a ride home from him after a concert. The creepy thing is that the song was written from Friend's perspective, who had tied the girl up in his mobile home before she escaped. The heavy metal band Motorhead was formed in 1975 in London, England, and has been recognized as bringing the British metal scene back to life in the 1980s. In 1991, the band released their 9th studio album, 1916, featuring the track Nightmare: The Dream Time. If you listen carefully throughout the song, you can hear a bunch of random words, except when they're put together, which says, "Now tell me about your miserable little lives. I do not subscribe to your superstitious, narrow-minded flights of paranoia. I and people like me will always prevail. You will never stifle our free speech in any country in the world, 'cause we will fight forever. In a single stroke, you poor stupid running dogs, why is it?" Now there's speculation that it was meant for the Parents Music Resource Center, who at the time were trying to censor rock music because they believed it was the devil's music and sending kids subliminal messages. Which is ironic because this was sending a subliminal message, but you get the point. A Vocaloid is a singing voice synthesizer that was used to create Secrets of Wisteria. The song was written for Halloween and uses the Vocaloid Oliver, who sounds like a young boy, and gives the whole thing a creepy vibe. But Steam Pianist, the song's co-producer, had also filled the songs with riddles, which, when deciphered, would reveal who the song was really about. And that is the serial killer and cannibal Albert Fish. He was born in 1870 in Washington, D.C., and was nicknamed the Werewolf of Wisteria because it was Wisteria Cottage where he'd commit his crimes. He's known to have killed at least 3 children, but was suspected of killing at least 5 more. But what makes Secrets of Wisteria even more disturbing is that when played in reverse, the eerie voice of a man reads out the horrific letter Fish, who had been left to babysit Grace, had sent to her parents, detailing how he killed and ate their daughter.
I choked her to death, then cut her in small pieces, so I could take my meat to my rooms, cook and eat it. How sweet and tender.
Perhaps one of the most well-known earworms of all time is Eiffel 65's Blue Dabba Dee. The electropop band from Italy released the song in 1999, and for reasons unknown, it became a huge hit around the world. It even got a Grammy nomination for Best Dance Recording. The song is apparently about a blue man in a blue world, but part of what made the song so popular was that no one could figure out what the heck they were saying in the chorus. A popular interpretation was that the dabba-dee dabba-da lyrics was actually "I will bleed, I will die," or "I believe I will die," which was just creepy on its own. But this catchy pop song may be hiding something even more sinister. When the chorus is played backwards, what originally sounds like gibberish actually sounds a lot like "hide the body, eat the body." Now I can't say for sure, but I know I will never trust a blue man again. I'm looking at you, blue man group. Y'all creepy. Rap artist designer's song Timmy Turner was certified platinum and was even on Rolling Stone's 50 Best Songs of 2016 list. The song's title is a reference to the Nickelodeon kids show Fairly Odd Parents and the character Timmy Turner. Now this may give the impression that it should be just as cartoonish and fun as the show, but that's not really the case at all. Designer himself has said that he sees the Timmy Turner character as his alter ego, and that the track is about his desire to get a hit single and be famous. But it's also a cautionary tale. Like making a deal with the devil, you might get what you ask for, but you may also end up in hell for it. But that's not all that's hidden in the track. When played in reverse, it sounds like Designer is saying, "Fall slowly, do you know where hell is? And come feast with me, you know, 666. This has led many to believe that Designer has become a member of a secret ruling society known as the Illuminati. But hey, that's up for you to decide. Thank you so much for watching, and just a reminder that my brand new limited edition t-shirt is only available for a few more days until June 5th. And once they're gone forever. So make sure you pick up yours now before they sell out by clicking the little eye on your screen right now or the link under this video. And don't forget, I'll have a brand new video for you tomorrow at 3 Eastern Standard Time, so make sure you come by then. Have a great day.